And welcome to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I'm your host, Noah Love. And tonight we are going to be doing this Saturday recap of the third day of the NCAA tournament, the first day for the round of 32. Half of the field is already in the books and done. We'll talk about it. Michigan. We'll talk about Michigan. We will also talk about Houston dominance. We'll talk about them. We will talk about the Nebraska and Vandy absolute instant classic that we witnessed that late window. And we have a double digit seed in the Sweet 16. And coming from the West region, we'll talk about Texas stunning Gonzaga. Let's just start from the top. Michigan and St. Louis. Michigan beats St. Louis 95-72. St. Louis, great season. They're going to end at 29-6. They obviously dismantled Georgia. Very good veteran team. Josh Schertz. They were a very good team. I thought they played well for a majority of the game. Michigan just too tough, too good. When you have five starters in double figures, that helps. They shot the three ball well tonight. When they're 11 from 23 from three, when they're hitting threes, man, they're very tough to beat. You look at Morez Johnson at 15 and 8, like Lindenborg with 25. Cadeau and their guards played a good game. When Michigan's rolling like this, they are a very tough out here. They're very tough out. They'll face the winner of Texas Tech and Alabama. I think Michigan here, there's been a lot of debate, I think, about the three teams and who's the best in the country. I personally still think it's Arizona, but I think Michigan, when they're at their best, they're probably there. Them and Duke, man. We'll get into Duke a little bit later in their performance, but I just thought Michigan, in terms of the performance, it was probably the most impressive performance of the day. I mean, Houston can make an argument, Illinois can make an argument. Yeah, but Michigan gets it done 95-72. The one thing I'll say about Michigan is I do feel like if they shoot threes and their guards continue to play like this, it's going to take a whole heck of a lot to beat them. I think if they play Duke again, I'd probably take Michigan in that game. I think their Midwest region, I said I felt like if it wasn't Iowa State, I said it on my Selection Sunday reaction show, I felt like if it wasn't Iowa State coming out of that was facing them, I didn't think anybody in this region could beat them, and I think today, they prove why. So yeah, heck of a win by the Wolverines and Dusty May. And look, it's a good year. I want to give St. Louis his props. 29-6, win a share of the A10, come to the NCAA tournament, win a game, dominate Georgia. Heck of a season. Obviously, they're going to have to retool and rebuild. Going to be losing Robbie Avila, obviously. But good year for a mid-major. Nice. Michigan keeps rolling. Next, staying in Buffalo, New York, the Spartans of Michigan State will advance to the East. regional semifinal, the Sweet 16, for this back-to-back years. They beat Louisville here 77-69. This was a very intriguing game because this was a game where at times it wasn't the prettiest, it was ugly, but you felt like Michigan State never was really in trouble in this game. I really think you felt like that. I think, like, look at what Fears did. He had a historic day. Obviously, I think most assists for Michigan State, for Michigan State point guard in an NCAA tournament game ever. He only had 12 points, but he had 16 assists. He was fine to his teammates. I think when Cohen Carr plays like he did today, that that really puts Michigan State on another level. I know Kohler didn't have the greatest game, but I think when Michigan State, like, I think Scott can hurt you. We obviously know Cohen Carr 21 and 10, really showing the overall game today. We know about Cooper inside. Fears, I think Tang when he's coming in hitting threes. That's fine. I thought today they got a very good lift from Trey Fort. And in this tournament, you never know who it's gonna be stepping up. You just never know. I thought they did a good job of, at least in the first half, of really trying to run Louisville off the line and make those threes just as hard as possible. I think they really did a good job of that. I also thought the Spartans was very good interior defensively. Um, I thought Louisville, you had some guys that had some rough, obviously, nights. I know McNeely got it going late, I guess, but he only had 9 points. Hatley, 1 of 8, 0 of 4. That's gonna bite you. I thought Conwell had a very nice night. Obviously, them having no Michael Brown Jr., they were able to survive against South Florida, which I'm surprised they were able to do that without him, because I just think he's such a big piece. But with Michigan against Michigan State, obviously you need him again. And when it comes to this NCAA tournament, it's all about your guards. It's all about him. And to me, the team that had the better lead guard won this game. Jeremy Fears, and Jeremy Fears didn't have, from from a statistic standpoint, didn't have the best shooting game, but I think he played a great game in terms of finding his teammates, controlling the pace of the game, whether it needed to go fast, slow it down, get in the half court. I thought he did a very, very good job. In Michigan State, these grinded out games, that's where they want to make you win. They'll get the winner of UConn and UCLA, which is on Sunday night, which again shall be it. They could get UCLA for a rubber matchup. It would be 1-1 at that point. Michigan State got them in the middle of the season. UCLA got them in the Big Ten tournament, and now it would be for a chance to go to the Elite Eight, or it would be UConn. And how about those two blue bloods? And how about Izzo versus Hurley in an NCAA tournament? How about that? Uh, that'd be a heck of a ball game. But yeah, Izzo back to Sweet 16. You could tell he's hoping. I know last year they fell short of the Final Four. He's hoping he can get back there. And honestly, I I'm I kind of rooting for him to get back there. Be honest, because Izzo's a heck of a coach. I picked him to get there last year, fell just short against Auburn. Can they go back this year? They've got it from a talent perspective. We will see, but that East region's a gauntlet. Won't spend a lot of time on these next two games, uh, but we'll go to TCU Duke. Duke beats TCU 81-58. I thought I thought as close of a game this was. Duke, see, they won. I know it's going to say they won by 23 points. This was a close game midway second half, and then it happened. Duke went on a run about, I want to say, 12, 11 minutes ish left in the half, and then you find yourself down. TCU finds yourself, you find yourself down 7, and it's 11, and it's ball game at that point. They didn't shoot well. They didn't shoot it as well as they should have. Looked, I thought this was going to be a tough matchup coming in, and at points it looked like it. But Duke's ability just to clamp down defensively in this game. I mean, we could talk about the offense, I guess, and talk about how Ngamba being back is big. I mean, we could talk about that, but I thought the key to this game was Dame Sarr and him having 14-8 and the way he defends and how he was knocking down the open threes. I really thought he was a key. Malik Brown had a nice game. Like, I just thought defensively, I mean, you hold Pierre, who averages 10 points a game, but you hold him to 4 points, 2 of 10 shooting. He can go get a bucket whenever you need him. David Punchy averages about 14 and 7. You hold him to 4 and 2. He was really a big reason why TCU advanced to get to the round of 32 and why they beat Ohio State and just couldn't do it. Duke is scary because of the way they guard. I know they had to scare against Siena. I get it, but I just think when Duke is at their best, they're a very hard team to beat. And you've seen it they've only lost twice. They're 34 and freaking 2 for crying out loud. So TCU, very good season. There was a point in there where I thought you weren't going to be in the NCAA tournament. You got right hot. You end up earning your way into the dance. Jamie Dixon does it again. You get a win in the NCAA tournament, but you just ran into a buzzsaw today. You just ran into a buzzsaw. Speaking of teams that ran into a buzzsaw, Texas A&M ran into a buzzsaw. And this is what you get. 88-57. Again, and now Houston's going to go to the Sweet 16, and that's going to be in Houston. Geographical advantage. Buckyball wasn't there tonight. Look, when it hit the way Houston played, like the way they guarded, the way they rebounded, this game got out of hand by the end of the first half. It was over. Like, it was very close. And then I say with about 5 minutes left in the half, Houston just hit him with the knockout shot. And I think it goes into the half like 41-23. And at that point, look, against a Houston team like that, it's ball game. Kingston Fleming is, I don't even think, has best performance, and they still won. I mean, how about this? You blow out Idaho, and you were expected to do that. But then you win the game by 31 points in this game. It was close early, but then after that, for a majority of this game, it was blowout territory. This is the Houston team you've been looking at. Sennac 17-9. I think Sennac's the key. I think so. If they're gonna make a Final Four run, he's going to be that guy. It's a very good win to be as dominant as it is. That sets him up with the Illini, which again, that's going to be a very, very difficult matchup because of Illinois' depth and Illinois' size. That's the one thing I will worry about in that matchup. The size of the Illini there is what will worry me. In terms of the rebounding and their ability to stretch the floor, they got very big guards. They're very smooth. It doesn't feel like you could speed them up with Boswell, Stojakovic, and Wagler. But if anybody has a plan to stop Illinois in that offense, it's Kelvin Sampson. Heck of a win. And we'll just segue right into that because Illinois beat VCU. VCU coming off of that 19-point comeback against North Carolina in the performance of Terrence Hill was just incredible. Hill had 17 in this game. Pretty much they shut. Illinois pretty much shut VCU's offense down. Only shot 35%, 22%. Illinois has been dominant in the first two games of the tournament. I think they're doing it. They did it defensively tonight. I thought, okay, in the first game, obviously the offensive output, but I just think when they guarded well. I thought even when you get Ivisic with the double-double, you got Boswell with 12, you got Wagler who got when he started to get it going, it was game, set, and match. And then Stojakovic off the bench with 21. I mean, they're a very big team. They're a very big team, and they can shoot. And obviously, they have an inside game as well. So I'm looking at Illinois. You weren't sure about them. You're like, look, this could be a Final Four team, or they could go out round of 64 with how inconsistent they play, or they could be somewhere in the middle. The way they've looked like they look like a Final Four team. But you're facing another team that's also looked like a Final Four team. That's going to be, and we can talk about that game more in depth as the week goes on. And obviously, Houston, we could talk about the geographical and the hometown advantage or whatever. But Illinois, man, that's just dominance. VCU, Phil Martelli Jr., first year, heck of a year. There's a lot of things you can look at from this year, from the 9 new players and the way they started off to the way they ended white hot, to them clinching a share, then getting into the NCAA tournament. And then to them being down 19 resiliently, fighting down to come back and beat a blue blood like Carolina. I mean, Illinois was just too much tonight, and you just saw it on display, I thought. Let's go here. We have a double-digit seed in the Sweet 16. Texas, who was 18-14, who got in at 18-14. They won the first 4 game against NC State. They beat by BYU, and now they upset Gonzaga. And Sean Miller, you could say they're Cinderella or whatever. They are dancing all the way to San Jose. They'll face the winner of Miami and Purdue. Those two play on Sunday in Texas. 3 games, 5 days, dancing on to the Sweet 16. They do it on a night where Tremont Mark doesn't shoot the ball very well, but you get others to step up. How about Swain? How about Pope? How about that Cam Heidi corner 3 to put him up 4 and put in the dagger that he had only took 1 shot up to that point. That was his only bucket in the game, but it's the biggest one. How about it? How about Volkatatis in this game and really in this run? Sean Miller, this is a team, we talk about their guard play, we talk about their bigs, and this is a team that dances on to the Sweet 16. You gotta give Sean Miller in a lot of credit. And Sean Miller in year 1, he's done it again. Look, you saw they ended the regular season losing to Arkansas and Oklahoma. They obviously lost to Ole Miss, and you're thinking, should they even be in this freaking tournament? The 6 quad 1 wins got them over the top, and you said, okay, during the first 4, we'll see. That was a tough watch against NC State, but they beat NC State. Then they beat BYU, and now they beat Gonzaga. What they have is momentum. And their guards are very good the way they're playing. Very unselfish. Only made 5 threes. Didn't matter. I really thought I think the difference to me has been defense. I think that's really been the big difference. I know against BYU they weren't able to contain Debansta, but let's be real, who can? And so they were able to contain the rest. I thought tonight Graham Ike, I thought he got what he wanted, but nobody else went crazy, which is really what you wanted. And Mark Few, for the second straight year, is bounced in the round of 32. Last year, you understood him being bounced by Houston. That's a heck of a ball game, and you understood they probably shouldn't have been seated there. Whatever. This game, I think there was a different feeling with this Gonzaga team, and I talked about it. I said I felt like they didn't have the shot makers and the playmakers in the past, and that's what would get them in trouble. But I do trust Mark Few to get them to the sweet second weekend, and well, they didn't get there. What it came down to was, again, it's about your guards. In March, and Texas's guards have been great in March. I know Texas has been a team that's been very inconsistent over the season. And for them to get to the Sweet 16, I know people wanted this to be a mid-major and all this. This was a heck of a story. This was a heck of a story for Sean Miller. The way it ended at Xavier, obviously he leaves, he goes, takes the Texas job, a program he just beat. Maybe caught some flack for that. Xavier fans obviously don't like him. Thought he was cheap. Didn't like the fact he left, but it's working out for him as he's in. Once you get to that Sweet 16 and that second weekend, you don't anything can happen now. You just want to give yourself a chance. So whoever gets them, whether it's Purdue or Miami, that's not going to be an easy game, an easy task. Heck of a win there. They keep dancing. Gonzaga, to go home. That's what the dark side of March for them. Now let's go to these last two games in these late window ones because these were the games of the day by far. This was just cinema. One of the best games, if not the best game of the tournament. Santa Clara, Kentucky, and High Point, Wisconsin. Obviously, it's competition. I didn't think anything would top Santa Clara, Kentucky. This came close. Nebraska won an NCAA tournament game for the first time ever on Thursday afternoon. They win their second, and their second has kept them dancing in Oklahoma City. It was Bedlam there. Their second puts them in their first ever Sweet 16. One of the best stories of in college basketball this season. The way they were playing 20-0. Started off, I know down the stretch there going 6-6 wasn't ideal. They kind of felt like great, cool story. They'll win a game? Will they make it to a second weekend? And by God, they did it. This is a tip of a cap to both teams. Frager, the Big Ten sixth man of the year, does it on the game winner. This entire game, back and forth, heavyweight fight. I thought in this game, what cost Vandy was, I thought, their inability late to obviously get shots to go down, but to get good shots. I thought when Hoiberg, to me, it won't be talked about because of the ending sequence, which we'll get to. Him late, I think it might have been 67, 62, or 67, 64 at this point. Him going to that 1-3-1 zone was huge because that to me threw Vandy's what they were in a rhythm. Nebraska was struggling to guard. They were getting in the paint, they were kicking. Nickel hit some big threes. Tyler Tanner, he played like a man possessed. Incredible basketball game. It's one of the games where you didn't want a certain team to lose. You're like, it's a shame somebody has to lose this game, and it just had to be Vandy. Nebraska, I thought them being able to keep their cool late. Obviously, I thought Sam Mahoy, the two offensive rebounds, that just embodies Nebraska. Hoiberg, the littlest man on the floor, getting an offensive rebound to put back. Mast, another offensive rebound, putting it back for a lay. I thought Sanford was big time. I thought you just got contributions from everybody, and obviously Frager. We could talk about it. The putback by Mass, then Vandy not getting a good shot. Then obviously Frager goes for layup. They don't use timeout, game winner. 2.2 seconds left. And Tyler Tanner almost freaking does it. I've watched the replay probably about 6 times, and I'm being honest to you guys, I don't know how that ball doesn't go in. The basketball gods were shining a light on Kentucky yesterday because that was one of the more improbable wins you'll ever see. Yesterday, this one, it doesn't shine a light on Vandy. And Tanner had one earlier in the season against Missouri, right? But obviously regular season, and you never want to lose there, but it wasn't as close. It was close, but it wasn't as close as this one. To go off the glass, it goes halfway in and halfway out. I don't know how that ball doesn't go in. And the Vandy, and you're thinking, if you're a Vandy fan, we're gonna do it, we're gonna advance. He really just nope. And it's just like, oh wow, we just lost this game. And the Nebraska fans are like, oh, thank goodness. Like, it's a different feeling. And how appropriate for the way that game went, the entire game. How appropriate of an ending that was. Vandy, heck of a year. Beat Tennessee twice. Like, Vandy, very good basketball team guards. I truly think if Duke Miles shoots better in this basketball game, instead of going to a 10-1 of 8 from three, with it being the close, if he shoots better, they win. But yeah, they finished the year 20, and they were a great story. These are two schools that aren't known for their basketball prowess. Again, Vandy versus Nebraska for a chance at the Sweet 16. This is really what college basketball is about. It would have been a great story either way, but yeah, that it's just tough for Vandy. But great year. Byington can build off of this, and that's still a heck of a basketball team. It's a shame we don't get the part three with Florida. That's if Florida beats Iowa. That's who Nebraska will face the winner of. I mean, this program, the season they had. I mean, last year people were suggesting should he be fired because if you remember, they're 17-14. They missed the Big Ten tournament, and they kind of collapsed down the stretch, and it's bad. And they go to the college basketball crown and they win the whole thing. And now they come back this year, and you've seen what has happened, and you just felt it. And they've been a great story all season long, finding a way to win games. And you just felt it. Like something was different about this team. This is obviously one of the best teams in Nebraska history. And like when Hoiberg got there, they were bad, awful. And he's built this, and he's built it on the backs of guys like a Peyton Sanford, like a Rank Mass, Jamarcus Lawrence, his son. It ain't nepotism. He's very good, and he does good things for that basketball team, and he's the emotional leader. It it's a heck of a team win. Really, it is a heck of a team win. It's one of the better. It's one of the better wins you'll see probably in this postseason. Just the emotion and everything that went into it. Nebraska advances to the Sweet 16. They'll take on either Florida or Iowa. And for the final game of the day, High Point falls short by 6. Arkansas, back-to-back years. Woo Pig Suey. They're going to the Sweet 16. 94-88. Thoughts. Arkansas. Darius Acuff Jr. What do you even say? 36 points. He was amazing. The contributions for Ewan, Richmond, and Thomas will not be overlooked. But he's the guy that won them this game. High Point, you feel so bad for Rob Martin, but if you didn't know about Rob Martin before, now you know. He had 30 tonight. High Point, just the way that they played in terms of the up and down and frenetic pace. it's really just remarkable. They again winning 31 games. They proved that they can hang with the best. Obviously, knock off Wisconsin, and now they just fall short against Arkansas because Darius Acuff is just that guy. I thought in the game at times I felt like High Point they trot they couldn't get the game to the frenetic pace. I think every time it looked like they were going to get it there, Arkansas was like, okay, let's slow this down, let's get a good shot. And late in the game, like Darius Acuff, they just could they had nobody for him, and that's who you thought no matter they just couldn't do it. So yeah, Arkansas winner they either get Utah State or Arizona. Um, I think it's gonna be Arizona. Uh, I mean these Sweet 16 matchups, man, potentially we potentially get here a cuff. You get Cal versus Tommy Lloyd, Arizona, Arkansas, but to get a cuff versus Acuff and that team versus Burries, Bradley, Pete in Arizona potentially. I mean, that's mouth watering potential. But yeah, Arkansas gets it done here. High Point, you got it. Mid major, I salute. Real respect, and hopefully their coach stays. We'll see and build a pro and to help build a but another potential mid-major powerhouse at High Point, but Arkan, Arkansas, all good things must come to a hand. High Point, but Arkansas still dancing. Tomorrow's gonna be a heck of a day. I'll be back on Sunday night slash Monday morning, with early Monday morning with the round of 32 Sunday reaction. We'll have all our matchups set at that point. Tomorrow, in terms of the matchups, should be a heck of a day. All right, everybody. This has been a round of 32 reaction. Don't argue with the facts podcast. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, see ya.